It's another edition of Sitting with an Athletic Director, State of the Programs, and we are live here at Columbus High School, the oldest public school here in Muskogee County, and I'm here with the new athletic director of the Columbus Blue Devils, Coach Danelle McCoy. She's also 1/4 of Office Hours, Real Life of an Athletic Director. You can catch here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Also the cross-country coach, and feels like deja vu because we were doing this interview last year right around this time.
Yes, definitely what I was thinking. I was like, Throwback Thursday.
Throwback Thursday. Loving it. All right. Oh, well, before we get into the sports, because there's a lot of sports. They've had great seasons.
Yes.
We're going to recap everything that happened last year.
Okay.
Such an incredible year for Columbus Blue Devil sports. Let's get into your background. How long have you been coaching? Where are you originally from? And how long you were the assistant athletic director before you took on the AD role?
Well, I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky. Came down here in 2010, got my master's at CSU, and did the athletic training fellowship with Houston. So my bachelor's is actually in athletic training. So that's what brought me down here. I started here at Columbus High School in 2012 and have been here ever since. So it seems like it's been a while.
Yeah, but the good thing is that like when you think of Columbus athletics, I think of you. You're always supporting and at the events, and we live streamed a lot of games.
Yes.
I knew that I wanted to try to promote the podcast that you do with Coach Kendall Mills and everything. So I'm trying to pull you up in the booth to talk about it. Let's go ahead and get into that because you aired an episode last week because this is airing the week after. And you guys went up to UGA, and the newly appointed interim athletic director of Shaw, Vivian Special, joined you guys. Just talk about that bond and relationship you've had with Coach Kendall Mills, Coach Anson Hunley, Coach Joe Kegler, because it seems like the four of you get the four of you together. I tell you, it's entertaining.
Yes, for sure. I love those guys. I appreciate everything that they've done. Like you said, we are Office Hours, and it all started actually at the conference that we were at this past weekend.
Oh,
so
nice.
Being back up there, kind of walking through some of the places we've been while we were there I think 2 years ago now, and kind of reminiscing on that, and being back there was kind of surreal, but also just a reminder of how far we've come, with everything. So I appreciate not only them, but, all the other athletic directors here in the city.
Now, while you were the assistant athletic director, how long were you the assistant AD here?
3 years.
3 years?
Yes.
And you were under Coach Chad Mathis, who was the athletic director. What did you learn from him? What were some of the things that you took away from his leadership style that helped you be prepared for this role that you have now officially taken on?
The biggest thing that I think he's taught me is organization. He had folders and files and everything stored in a way that it's easy to go back and look at it. And if you would ask him a question, he'd be like, oh, just give me a second. I don't know the answer, but I can find that answer. And it wasn't like he had to take years to go back through his files and everything, but having that information readily available so that you're able to get stuff done in a timely fashion.
And one thing that's unique about Columbus High School is it's a magnet school.
Correct.
So you have to apply to get, it's not based on your location. There's people who live down the street that go to other schools, but it's very exclusive. It kind of feels like an academic school, like on the collegiate level, maybe like a Georgia Tech, but still a lot of bright kids, great athletes have come out of this school.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a list of who's who, and we will get into that when we take a deep dive into sports. But talk about what makes Columbus High a special place to attend school.
I think what makes Columbus High School special is you have kids from every walk of life. And listening to and hearing their experiences will only enrich you. Sometimes you worry about just having people from an area where they're all the same or they all have the same experiences, but not only not having an attendance zone, but also the fact that we also get a lot of military students as well. Yeah. So I think that all makes Columbus High School very unique. The wide demographics that we have, and that's what I really appreciate.
Well, I can't wait to take a dive into the sports. Right now, we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we are going to talk about fall sports. As you're watching City with an Athletic Director, State of the Programs, live from Columbus High, here with the newly appointed AD of Columbus, Coach Danelle McCoy. We'll be back after this.
Get ready to smile. It's Truck Month at Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika. Choose from a huge selection of brand new full-size Chevrolet Silverados. Discounted up to $13,750 off. New 2025 Chevy Equinox, the compact SUV that features high-tech options and discounts up to $5,000 off. You can enjoy no payments until July. People from all over the USA save at Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back to Sitting Down with an Athletic Director, State of the Programs here at Columbus High School. And Coach, let's talk about fall sports. We're going to start with football. It sets the tone for the school year.
Yes.
A second-year coach, Robert Peters. He was a longtime assistant for Coach Phil Marino.
Yes.
The Columbus football team has had athletes.
Yes.
Obviously, it hasn't related to winning on the field. They had a tough season last year, only winning one game, but you saw that there were athletes that were there, like whether it's Daniel Smith, who was splitting quarterback time with Christian Spivey, a dual-threat quarterback. You had Grant Garinger, a leading rusher, who was only a sophomore last year. I think that what Coach Bob Peters is trying to build is to try to get them competitive, to try to get into the playoffs, especially in this region. It's a winnable region for Columbus High. Just talk about the growth and development. Obviously, we're in the weight room. You know, they're constantly in the weight room. They've had their summer practices. They're getting ready for that big opener. You're actually playing on Thursday night against Miller County up at Kinnett Stadium. Just talk about what Coach Peters means to this school and what he's trying to build in year two.
One of the things I'm excited about with Coach Peters is watching him develop those young players. You know, last season, like you said, was his first year, but I do think that he's really excited about this year. You know, that first year is kind of figuring things out and trying to get things going the way that you want. And now that he's got that taken care of, now you're going to start to see him implement some changes that he wants to make. The guys they're having fun. Like you said, they finish their morning practice and then they come in here and get in their weight room session. So I'm ready to see them next week. You know, they'll open up with a scrimmage. They'll go down to Early County.
And one thing, I got to give him a shout out because he was a Columbus Blue Devil, Esane Bassey, which you got a poster up here in the gym. NFL player. He had his football camp, and you know, Columbus has had, obviously Frank Thomas was playing tight end for football. So you know, the Columbus has had definitely its share of athletes for football. So from football to the sport that is near and dear to your heart, cross country.
Yes.
So because you are the cross country coach, how's the season going? I know it's hot out there, but are you guys trying to still get out there in the heat, or sometimes if the heat index is too hot, are you guys going in using the treadmill? Like how are you able to make sure to get your routines in, especially for this upcoming season?
So the past few weeks we've been going in the morning to kind of miss the heat, and then next week is when we'll actually start going in the afternoon. So in the event that the heat index is too high at all, what I'll usually do is try to get in here in the weight room if it's available, or we'll go to the wrestling cheer room and we'll actually do some yoga or find other ways to keep the kids active without having them out in the heat.
Softball, they won the region last year. They were so close to getting to that Elite Eight to play at South Commons. They lost to Stevens County. It was here on this field. I remember seeing it. Heartbreaking loss, but we know that softball program is going to be one of the top teams in the region. Who leads the softball program, and what is the season looking like for this year? We
have a new coach this year. Her name is Coach Kelly Furtick, and I'm excited to have her on board. She actually has 3 kids that go to school here. She's from the military, so they've moved around a little bit, but her energy is really high. Every day I talk to her after her practice, and she always has something positive to say, and she's excited to get the season going with the girls.
Yeah, we cannot wait. We live streamed several Columbus softball games last year. Another sport that we live streamed last year for the first time was volleyball. Yeah. What a season the volleyball team had, making it to the Final Four. I mean, it was an incredible season. We had the privilege of live streaming several of the volleyball matches, definitely the tri matches when you had 2 other schools. That is always great. But who leads the volleyball program? And I know that season's starting pretty soon in a couple of weeks. And, you know, there's a lot of high expectations to win the region again and to make a deep run in the GHSA playoffs. Right.
Volleyball is led by Coach Lay. She's been here about 3 or 4 years now. They actually just got back from camp. They went up to Rome. Barry has a volleyball camp and they attended that, and now they're back here in the gym with their morning practices a couple of days a week in order to get ready for their, like you said, upcoming season.
Yeah, that's incredible, and we can't wait. Another sport that we live streamed this year, and it really took off. And we all knew that Columbus had a great flag football program, but to see them in the state championship against Southeast Bullock, and to be that close, Harmony Franklin scores that touchdown to put them up, and they end up losing in overtime. But we were so proud of them for making it to the state championship, playing in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and Coach Christian Greer. What can you say about the program he's built up? Obviously, Harmony Franklin was only a sophomore. Right. She's going to be that top wide receiver this year. But losing your quarterback, Serenity Hickman, and losing, probably in my opinion, the greatest flag football player to probably ever come out of this state in Allie Lofton. I mean, that's tough to lose those two. But what Coach Greer is building, he's building a foundation, and I think they're going to be just fine.
Yes. I don't even have enough words to describe Coach Greer. He is a gem. I'm glad we have him. He, too, has been putting in a lot of work this summer with the girls. He had practice the other day, and I went out and talked with him for a little bit, and he's ready to go. We got an email a couple of months back from the state just asking some questions about the flag football team, and his response was, I'm ready to run it back. So he's ready to get back to that point and hopefully come home this year with a championship trophy.
All right, now you got cheerleading, you have sideline cheer, and you have game day cheer.
Yes.
And, I mean, it was what, sideline cheer that who's the sideline cheer coach?
So sideline cheer coach is Coach Holdridge.
That's right, because they won the state championship.
Yes, they won the game day state championship, which is actually pretty cool to watch. I'd never.
And that was right here at the Civic Center.
It was. Yeah. And I enjoyed watching that. So hopefully, again, we're able to go out and repeat. And
who is they won the game day championship. Who is you have two different coaches for cheerleading,
competition cheer team.
So competition cheer, okay.
And that's Coach Duncan. And she actually has two girls that are up for cheerleader of the year.
Oh, nice.
And that tournament will be held at CSU next weekend. So I'm hoping that between one of the two, we'll be able to come out of there and say that we have the cheerleader of the year here at Columbus High School.
By the way, big shout out to former Columbus cheerleader Charity Lawson, who was a reality star in 2023. Yes. The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, Dancing with the Stars. And we are so proud of her, especially here in Columbus. All right, let's talk another sport that's kind of in the fall and in the spring, esports.
Yes.
Who coaches esports, and what are some of the things that they are working on, especially for this upcoming season?
So esports this year will be taken over by Coach Casper. Previously, he coached soccer, so this will be a new year or a new role for him this year. I know one of the things that he's really excited about is getting an actual lab set up here at the school where the equipment can stay there, it's locked away, and when they come in to practice, they don't have to worry about setting everything up, making sure everything's good to go. Everything will be where it needs to be so that he can have maximized practice time.
Absolutely. All right, well, that was the fall sports. We're going to go ahead and take a break. And when we come back, we are going to talk about winter sports here on Sitting with an Athletic Director, State of the Programs on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We'll be back after this.
Football is back, and the only thing that makes it better is some delicious food from Zaxby's. They're a proud sponsor of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And I can tell you that everyone on this team loves their chicken. Get all the favorites, such as their signature chicken sandwich, or try the new chicken finger tacos with your favorite drink. From amazing salads, wings, chicken fingers, and some of the best drinks around, there isn't a better way to enjoy our broadcast without getting some fantastic meals from Zaxby's. Check out the two here in Phoenix City, one off Crawford Road and the other on US 80. Thank you again to Zaxby's for sponsoring Georgia Alabama Sports Live, and make sure you call them for all your catering and tailgating needs this football season.
We are back, and it is now time to talk winter sports here on Sitting with an Athletics Director, State of the Programs. All right, Coach, let's go ahead and start with wrestling. Deep run in the state playoffs. Talk about some of the individual performances for both the boys and the girls, and who is the wrestling coach?
Our wrestling coach is Coach Keys. He's been our wrestling coach for a while now. Some major returners coming back this year on the guys side. You've got Anthony's coming back. He's a senior. Ethan Secoy's coming back. Noah, and I know Coach Keys takes pride in that wrestling program. They work over the summer in the afternoons and the evenings. They're here in the weight room. He takes them to camps. He recommends camps, and I know he's looking to grow that program this year.
And another winter sport that made a deep run in the playoffs, swimming. Who runs the swim program, and what are some of the individual accolades for both the boys and the girls?
Swim is Coach Elder. He took over last year. That was his first year. And then his assistant coach is Coach Schwarting. And they run a team where he has a ton of swimmers. I don't know how he keeps track of them. There's so many. But he's got a lot of returners coming back this year. He lost some great ones. Couple of relays that made it to state and a couple of individuals as well. Michaela Miller is one of the big ones that they lost this past season. She was a senior, so she's gone on to swim in college. But he's got some young ones coming back and a couple of seniors as well.
All right, let's talk basketball, because it seems like when it comes to basketball, Sam Mitchell, Mark Upshaw, and Loretta Cobb has really been the founders to kind of put basketball in Columbus on the map. In fact, last week, Sam and Mark had their Dream to Achieve summer basketball camp that I got to be a part of. And, of course, Loretta Cobb and all the wonderful things she does with Girls Inc. Basketball has been kind of hit or miss, but, the boys team making it to the playoffs for the first time in 25 years under Coach Carl Ivey Sr. 2 years ago. They had a new head coach, a former Jordan Red Jacket who won a state title in 2007, and that would be Terrence Hill. Mm-hmm. And the boys basketball team was on the doorstep of the playoffs last year, but they're getting one of the most versatile forwards I've ever seen when live streaming games. J.J. Johnson, he's like 6'7", and he can put it on the floor. He's got a sweet touch.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
got all the accolades that you want at playing at the next level. They are losing several key guards like Demarion Lee, E. Marcus, but they're going to have some young players back. Like Carver Smith is coming back. But just talk about just the growth and development for Coach Hill in year 2 for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, Coach Hill's doing good things with the boys. He had them in a lot of different tournaments and summer camps this year. And I think that's going to be key to replacing and filling in some of those holes with those players that he lost. Like you said, you've got JJ coming back this year. Smith will be back this year as well. You've got Justin Pupa's going to be able to handle the ball.
That's right.
I think with those players that we have returning who have been around for a while, I think he's going to be able to lean on those now seniors to kind of get the program going in the direction that he wants to see.
Yeah, and with the power rankings, Columbus was right on the doorstep of the playoffs last year. I remember calling that region tournament game against Shaw, and it's like the winner of that game would make the playoffs. That's pretty much how it's set up. Now let's talk about the girls. Obviously, winning the state championship in 2017 under legendary coach Joe Sharon, it was a rebuilding process. We've had a revolving door of coaches, but there's a new coach this year. Tell us who the coach is for the Columbus Lady Blue Devils.
So this year we have Coach Ken. Coach Ken is not new to Columbus High School. He was previously coaching on the boys' side with Coach Ivey. He did 2 seasons with him, and then last year he coached with Coach Adams. So the girls are familiar with Coach Ken, and he's been busy working with the girls. He's been consistently in the gym over the summer, and now he's starting to incorporate some weight room things with them. And the girls look excited. They look happy. They look like they are ready to get out there and play ball. So like you said, on the boys' side we lost a lot, but the girls' side lost a lot as well.
But laying the foundation, too, because the foundation was set, especially with the previous coach winning, improving each season, and that they were on the doorstep of the playoffs last year. And I felt like they should have got in. I went on a rant. How could a 4-24 team make the playoffs and Columbus and Shaw get left out? But no, Coach Adams did a great job. And I know that they're in good position. Harmony Franklin's coming back, but you're losing seniors like Jayla Lockhart. You're losing Alana Gilbert. I think Christina Christoph. And you got Sydney Foster. I mean, you've got some players that are and by the way, Sydney Foster, she was also a softball player, and I saw her hit a home run against Shaw. So you got multi-sport athletes, and we are really excited, especially for Columbus Blue Devil and Lady Blue Devil basketball. All right, there is another sport in the winter. Let's talk about rifle. It's like, is it a club sport? Is it not? It's not an official sanctioned sport of the GHSA for Columbus, is it?
It is.
It is. Okay.
Rifle, air rifle is what it's called.
Okay.
Is a GHSA sport. We do have a new coach this year. Sergeant Major Tuggle actually retired, and at the end of the year, we actually dedicated and named our rifle range after him. So we hate to see him go. He had a tremendous run here at Columbus High School. And now our new coach, I do believe, he'll follow in those same footsteps.
I do want to throw this out here, Coach. This is my PSA because I think that it would be great if you'd be the first to start this. Gymnastics. I think that needs to be a sport in this area. It is a high school sport. I think the nearest school that has a gymnastics team is in Noonan, East Coweta. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I got a young daughter that's on the gymnastics team at Gymnastics Unlimited in town.
I'll do some research on that and see how we can
absolutely,
bring that
Coach. If you could just maybe in about 4 or 5 years, if we get a gymnastics team here at Columbus,
absolutely,
that would be great. All right, we're going to take another break. When we come back, we're going to talk about spring sports and what a season it was for the spring sports.
Yes.
You don't want to go anywhere. It's Sitting with an Athletics Director, State of the Program, live from Columbus High here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Hi, my name is Griff Gordy, and here at Gordy Eye Care, we have been serving the Bi-City community for 17 years. As a former state championship quarterback, I love the fact that I can watch local high school athletics from the comfort of my own home. So it was a no-brainer to support Georgia Alabama Sports Live and what they do for young athletes in our area.
And without business like yourself, Gordy Eye Care, none of our coverage would be possible to be able to cover the 16 different high schools, the local colleges, and professional teams. So we'd like to say thank you to you, Dr. Griff Gordy, and Gordy Eye Care for your support of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And then you can make an appointment today at Gordy Eye Care with the number 334-291-5125. Keep supporting Gordy Eye Care and keep watching Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
It's Sitting with an Athletics Director, State of the Programs, live from the oldest public school in Muskogee County. It's been around since 1890. So much history. It's Columbus High, and I'm here with the Athletic Director, Coach Danelle McCoy. Let's talk spring sports. I'm going to start with golf.
Yes.
State champions, Coach Parker, an outstanding job. They won it at Bull Creek. We were there to get interviews with the individual champions. Obviously, when you think of golf here in Columbus, I interviewed Ben Carr. I know. Yes. I got so excited because he was like a couple of strokes away from making the cut at the Masters a couple of years ago. And this is a decorative golfer here, the Southeast region tournament champion like 4 times. But Columbus is a golf town. Mm-hmm. To have Columbus win the state championship, what did it mean to Coach Parker and his team, and to win it right here in our own backyard at Bull Creek?
Yes, Coach Parker was thrilled. Man, a few words, but you could see the excitement on his face. And to be able to bring home another golf championship trophy is what he wanted to see, and I'm so glad that he was able to make that happen.
And now the girls actually also went to the state, and that was actually at Maple Ridge.
Yes.
So who's the golf coach for the girls? And
so last year the golf coach was Coach McCabe, but she's actually moved. So we'll have a new coach this year.
Have a new coach?
It'll be Coach Swinehart. He's been here at Columbus High School, and he was the one that actually reached out and asked if he could take on that responsibility of coaching the girls golf team. He's got some young girls that'll be back next year, and he's excited to build around them a program that will hopefully be able to contend and compete.
I'm telling you, and this is another PSA, golf is an easy sport to actually pick up. If you have students that are in your high school, all they need is a set of clubs, because there are golf courses everywhere. Right. And I know that there are schools that compete individually. So it goes to show some of these schools that may not have a golf team because they have maybe 1 or 2 golfers. I think that you guys have set the standard and paved the way that you could win a state championship as a team, and you also had individual course records at Bull Creek. So that was awesome, and we were so privileged to cover it. I think this year we might actually live stream a golf tournament with the scoreboard, and we're going to have to get a drone when they shoot when they tee off and try to follow the ball. I'm just kidding.
No, I like that idea.
It'd be fun, but we'd really have to get everything going. All right, lacrosse.
Yes.
You're the only school in this area that has a lacrosse team. The girls play lacrosse. I had the privilege of calling play-by-play for lacrosse for the very first time in my broadcast history. Played at Terry Gaines Field.
Yes.
It kind of felt like that was your home field.
Right.
By the way, that's a really nice facility.
It's very pretty.
In Midland. The lacrosse team had a pretty good season, but who is the lacrosse coach? And just talk about the growth and development of girls lacrosse, and is there an opportunity for maybe a boys lacrosse team in the near future?
So I'm still on golf. Our lacrosse team is led this year. It'll be Coach Ashlyn Hooper. Previously, it was Coach Stewart. She's military, right. So they moved at the end of the school year. But Ashlyn was one of our lacrosse players, so she graduated from Columbus High School. So she's familiar with the way that we do things around here, and she's also familiar with the program. So getting her on board as the head coach will be pretty cool to see her take over the team and help those girls grow and be able to coach them up in the way that they need to go.
And by the way, that PA announcer you have, so much energy.
Oh, yes.
It gets me fired up when I go see a lacrosse match.
He does good. He does really good.
Yeah, it definitely. All right, let's move on to soccer. We're going to start with the girls. They were one of the top seeds. They had high hopes to win a state championship, but fell short in the quarterfinals to Morgan County. Obviously losing goalkeeper Allie Lofton, who was just a tremendous athlete. She really, for both flag football and for soccer. Who is the soccer coach for the girls? And are they working out in the fall? Because I know sometimes you have club leagues.
Right.
You have. They're actually probably playing on their club teams, but trying to still balance that and high school soccer as well.
Right. So our soccer coach on the girls' side is Coach Lovin. She's been around for a good bit as well. She formerly played, I believe, at CSU. Yeah. But she's got a lot of girls that are coming back this year. And like you said, a lot of them do actually play club team or travel, so it's hard to get them going right now. But once school is in session, she'll give them a little bit to get back into the routine of things, and then she'll start her off-season training.
And by the way, I'm going to shout out another former Columbus Lady Blue Devil, Megan Byers, who scored the first goal in Rapids history back in 2021, played for Columbus in the early 2010s. All right, let's talk boys soccer. Yes. Again, losing in the quarterfinals to Coahulla Creek. I was hoping for that Shaw-Columbus semifinal.
Have that matchup.
Yeah, we live streamed that on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Coahulla Creek ended up winning it in extra time, but it was such a defensive battle. It could have gone either way. And by the way, Ryan Collins, who plays for Columbus United FC, he was on the team. Talk about who the soccer coach is and what's the season looking like for this year.
So soccer was previously coached last season by Coach Casper. Who I mentioned previously is going to be taking over esports. So we have a new coach coming in this year. His name is Coach Borda. He's coming up here from Albany. So he does have some coaching experience, extensive coaching experience from our conversation that we had the other day. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him take over the program and implementing some of the things that he's going to bring with him from Albany.
All right. Tennis had a deep run in the state champions.
They did.
Again, and when it comes to tennis, Columbus is very known for tennis. Like a lot of great athletes, great championship banners up in that gymnasium. Right. Who's the tennis coach? And do you have a boys and a girls tennis coach? Or so which who's the coach for which team? And what are some of the accolades that they did this past year?
So both teams actually were state runner-ups.
Oh man.
So girls tennis coach is Coach Hill, and then the boys this year will have Coach Ginn. Previously, their coach was Coach Millie, but she's moving over to track now. Coach Ginn has been part of the program for a while, so now he's just taking back over as the head coach.
And that's a good segue because track and field is the next sport. Coach Millie over with the track team. The thing about track and field, a lot of participants, so you have to have multiple coaches. But you got Lake Bottom Park over there. There are places that you can practice track, but obviously you're having the meets at Kinnett Stadium, Otis Spencer Stadium. I don't know if they do have it at Otis Spencer Stadium because they don't have that running track there. But talk about who the other track coaches are.
So some of the other people who will be helping out with track. Previously, you've had Coach Keys has been out there, Coach Peter's been out there. I've been out there with track. Coach Church, who has been coaching since forever. He helps out with track, and then we've got some younger coaches who have come on board. Coach Amable previously helped, but she recently had a baby, so she's taken some time away to spend time with her new baby boy. Coach Thrasher helped out last year, and Coach Streeter as well.
All right, now I saved this sport for last because when you think of Columbus High School, you think of baseball. The legendary Coach Bobby Howard, 12 championships.
Yes.
Frank Thomas.
Yes.
That team that won 3 straight, they were mainly composed of the Northern Little League team
Right.
in 2006 with Josh Lester, J.T. Phillips,
Right.
and all them. Also can't forget the recent inductee into the Chattahoochee Valley Sports Hall of Fame, Gary Ingram. A lot of great Columbus, Jordan Weems. I could go on and talk about the great
Right.
baseball players. And by the way, Michael Nodelman just got offered a scholarship to play baseball at Georgia Tech.
That is
Congratulations. His dad texted me that this past week, and I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that here.
Yes.
But the baseball team, obviously we were there, losing in a winner-take-all Game 3 to Crisp County. First of all, Michael Nodelman pitched fantastic. Right. They win Game 1. But Crisp County played that underdog role after beating Shaw in round 1.
Right.
It was a tough season. Columbus baseball has seen deep state playoff runs. The quarterfinals a couple years ago, making it to the second round last year, and this year making it to the second round, but can't quite get over the hump. We know that this is one of the top teams in the region, along with them and Shaw. Really, were the 2 top teams in the region. But who's the baseball coach this year? And I know that Randy Jordan Field, it's hallowed ground. You look at all the numbers retired and all the state championships. It's an honor to play there. And by the way, your field is top notch because even when there's rain in the forecast, like that game we called against LaGrange, it rained all the way up to first pitch.
Right.
And then when they got the final out, it started raining. And
right.
you couldn't do that unless you have a great field like Randy Jordan Field.
Yes. So Coach Mathis is our baseball coach, and he came in after Coach Howard, and he has done a good job in keeping that program on track. I do think this year with the freshman class that we have coming in, I've heard really great things about this freshman class, some big time names, and I'm expecting them to come in and make their mark on the team.
Yeah, we appreciate Coach Mathis, and we're excited about it. We live streamed a ton of baseball games. You guys have always been a gracious host and allowing us to actually have space at the top of that bleacher to go. It's the perfect angle, and we appreciate the Columbus High Booster Club and their president, Nick Nodelman, for allowing us to live stream that series against Crisp County.
Yeah.
And we are really looking forward to baseball this upcoming season.
Yes. I'm just thankful that you all are out and about and getting the schools and the sports the recognition and putting them on the map.
Oh, no question. We love doing it, Coach. And we're going to go ahead. Final segment. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk facilities and Columbus High, really what it means to be a Columbus High Blue Devil. And then we will close out the show. You're watching Sitting with an Athletics Director, State of the Programs, live from Columbus High School on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
I'm always on the go. But with the Kinetic Credit Union app, Kinetic is always with me. The Kinetic mobile app is virtual banking at its best. With the Kinetic mobile app, I can easily send and receive money, make a deposit, pay some bills, and I can even open up a new account, all from my phone. And I can monitor all my accounts in one place, all on the go. The Kinetic mobile app, energized banking at its best.
Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
It's Sitting with an Athletic Director, State of the Programs, live from Columbus High, and I'm here with the Athletic Director, Coach Danelle McCoy, who is no stranger to Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Basically, I'm going to plug your podcast, Office Hours, any chance I get. But let's talk facilities.
Yes.
Obviously, we talked about Randy Jordan Field. We talked about the gymnasium, which is state-of-the-art. I know it's the oldest gymnasium in the city, but it is just an incredible venue. It's large enough to actually have like the region championship move to Columbus, and it hosts karate tournaments, wrestling matches. Is there any other improvement for facilities? I know the football team plays their games at Kinnett Stadium, and you've got Lake Bottom Park. But basically, when you're talking about facilities, I mean, you have the gymnasium and you have the baseball field, because the softball field plays on the baseball field.
Right.
Is there any future projects or possible upgrades?
At the moment, no, but there are some things that administration and I, we're going to sit down and we're going to look at, and maybe get on the books for a few years down the road maybe. But like you said, our gym hosts many things, not just Columbus High School athletics, but the community. There are times where they've come in, like you said, the karate tournament, which is huge. We host that. Wrestling tournaments, we have them come in. In the past, we've hosted middle school championships for volleyball and basketball.
Yep.
And anytime that we can get people in here and just see that part of our facilities, I think it does get their wheels turning about possibly sending their kids here to Columbus High School in the future.
And that's great to hear, Coach. And the final thing I want to ask is, what is that message to people who want to support Columbus High athletics? There's a lot of history, a lot of proud alumni who call this place home, that want to support Columbus athletics. How can they do that?
Yeah, so one of the things that I want to work on this year is actually building that relationship with our alumni. The past couple of months, it's almost like every time I go out somewhere, whether it's the grocery store or a board meeting, I meet an alumni of Columbus High School, and the history that they share is just, I'm always in awe. So one of the things that I want to work on is creating a forum where alumni can share their contact information with us, so we can reach out to them and, invite them to our big games, like the Hardaway Columbus High School game.
The Midtown Showdown.
Yes, Midtown Showdown. This will be our second year having that. And this year we're the home team. So I would love to be able to get our alumni out and pack the house for our football team.
Yeah, it would be great if we can get Frank Thomas and Michael Williams. I know Michael's playing for the 49ers, but Frank Thomas was in town a couple months ago.
That's what I heard.
Maybe we could get him to be the honorary captain for the Midtown Showdown. Coach, it's been a blast. I'm glad that we're able to do this again for the second year in a row. It seems like I got an appreciation for Columbus sports, because after calling all the games we called on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, flag football, lacrosse, volleyball, softball, basketball, football, it gave me an appreciation for Columbus High athletics. And thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule, being a part of Sitting with an Athletic Director.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
And thank you for the support. I appreciate it.
Anytime. And you can catch her on Office Hours, The Real Life of an Athletic Director. This is Richard Holdridge signing off here from Columbus High. Thank you once again for watching another episode of Sitting with an Athletic Director. State of the programs. We'll see you next time.